We also introduce Sandhya Patel and Kusuma. We are honored to have all of you here today and we request to say a few words.
Sir, few words.
Few words.
Okay.
Namaste for all of you. Thank you very much really for inviting us to be.
We also honored to have SLPS founders Surekhaben and Chandbhai Patel join us at Mega Meditation Summit. Their presence is a reminder of power of meditation to bring people together from all walks of life. We would like to sincerely thank Chandbhai, Surekhaben, Kuntalbhai, Nimeshbhai and SLPS board and team members. On behalf of PSSM Global and Meditation Magic team, I would like to express our deepest gratitude for providing the SLPS Community Hall for the Mega Meditation Summit. Your generosity and support have made this event possible and we are truly grateful. The Mega Meditation Summit has exceeded all expectations, attracting approximately 1,000 participants, including children from various concerns of the globe. The remarkable event has brought individuals together, offering them a one-of-a-kind opportunity to discover the countless advantages of meditation. By doing so, we are not only able to connect with more individuals, but also create a profound and positive impact on the world. We could not have accomplished this without your help. Thank you for believing in our mission and supporting our work. We are truly grateful for organizing this event with us and for the hundreds of people who participated in group meditation at LSPS Community Center.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much really for inviting us to be really part of this program at the beginning. I appreciate very much. And I think this is a great program and it's a true story really that I have been really listening to Swami Patriji's music, without even really knowing anything about the PSSM and all the meditation and all of those since, I would say probably 1995. Because I really got some DVDs actually from his sister, and I have not really met Patriji at that time. A few years ago, of course, I haven't really met him. So I do have that DVD in my bedroom really. I almost really listen to that flute meditation. I don't really know what happens really. I just start listening to that before I really know. I already gone, I have not even listened to the whole thing. But it is all very soothing and Patriji makes it so simple and so nice. So again, thank you very much. We have a great 2-day program and it's a great honor to be invited to come here. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now I would like Pari, Anil and Shrikant sir to facilitate all of them, please.
Hello everyone. First, I would like to introduce Chandbhai Patel and Surekhaben Patel. They are SLPS founder, and without their support, we would be not getting this hall. So we would like to have a big appreciation here. Thank you very much, SLPS board members, and last year President Kuntalbhai, and also this year President Nimeshbhai. Thank you very much for your all cooperations. We really appreciate it. And I would like to request Chandbhai Patel to say a few words about meditation. I know they are very much deeply involved in meditation. Thank you very much.
Sir, first thing I wanted to say is everybody felt as soon as they entered the hall, great energies. Everybody said that this is the perfect place for this event. We couldn't find any other place. So thank you so much for this high vibrational place for this event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Nirmalji, for inviting
inviting me. We just heard that to drive a car, you need a driving license from Brahmarshi Patriji. So here is a speaker without a speaking license. So please forgive me. I must admit that you are all my gurus and I am the student of meditation. I am really very impressed with what we have today here. I want to, Padi Patriji said that she is feeling a lot of energy here in this hall. But the sole reason is you. Really. So we are blessed that you have chosen our facility for this type of unique experience. Some of you are wearing this pyramid, and this pyramid helps you concentrate and achieve your goal faster. So I request you to make this hall your pyramid today. And it will give us a lot of blessings. This is the first time, I read in the books that to take care of your physical body, you exercise. So to make my heart stronger, I got to run and exercise. That is for your physical body. But for your mind, it's the other way around. You have to calm down your mind. With your body, you exercise, but with your mind, you calm it down. And for that, we do meditation. But my today's discovery is how important a role music plays in calming down your mind. It heals your heart, and today I've experienced firsthand the soothing music and its role in calming down your mind. So I'm going to go home with a lot of lessons tonight. And once again, thank you for choosing our place. Padi Patriji identified a lot of audience from various parts of the world, but my only disappointment is that most of you are from southern part of India. And I'm a good Jew.
We need more good Jews here.
Exactly.
Sir, you can help us.
Yes, we will. So, most of the Gujus are businessmen. They all they do is money. And that's why you see this expensive place. But we need to have more Gujus, and with this calming of mind, they are going to get extra energy to find the God who is already inside of us. I have taken too much of your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We also have a lot of Punjabis right here, who are from Canada. But sir, we do have PMC Gujarati, PMC Gujarat, online media channels that are doing tremendous work in promoting meditation, compassion, and pyramid energy. So I would love for you to at least check it out once on YouTube, PNC Gujarat, and of course Nirmalji will help you. And thank you so much, sir. Ma'am, couple of words from you.
Thank you so much for inviting us, and it's amazing experience, like the live music, as Chandrakant said, and at least I want to thank you all that you have vibrated our wall with peace and nice energy. Thank you so much, and I guess event whereby all our Patels will attend that too.
Absolutely, ma'am. Vaishali ma'am will be leading a whole Gujarati event right here. We are announcing today with Nirmal ji. And where is Puneet ji? Please come here. Come. So Puneet ji and Vaishali ji are our masters, and we today on this stage I request you to give us permission to host that Gujarati event right here.
Sure.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Puneet ji, come.
I just want to add one thing that, I know Chandbai and Surekha Ben from like so many years, and whenever I reach them, any big meditation, festival going on in Dallas, and if I approach them, they always come and, motivate all the basically even Gujarati or any community within India. So thank you very much, for motivating us and supporting us. And at the same time, DFW Hindu Temple President Giriji and Satyamji, they also, motivate us too much and always ready to give their culture, our culture whole, for the meditation practices. And also Sandhya Ben and Kusum Masters, they both are also the past president of DFW Hindu Temple, and without, all the support, it is not possible to do any kind of event in a big way. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello everyone. તમારું સ્વાગત છે અને હું ડલાસમાં અરવિંદમાં જ રહું છું અને અમે લોકો મેડિટેશન વર્ચ્યુઅલી અને અમે લોકો શીખવાડવા પણ જઈએ છીએ, સિનિયર સિટીઝનને શીખવાડવા જઈએ છીએ અને ઓનલાઈન પણ અમે લોકો મેડિટેશન શીખવાડીએ છીએ અને વિઝડમ શેરિંગ કરીએ છીએ. તો પ્લીઝ તમે બધા જોઈન થજો અને યા એની ક્વેશ્ચન તમારે હોય તો યુ કેન કમ ટુ મી એન્ડ આસ્ક મી. થેન્ક યુ સો મચ. So I invite. I have so many mics now. Okay. So I invite Anil, Parikant and Shri to facilitate all our guest of honors, please. And also everyone, red dot on your badge, please go assist your kids with the food. They are hungry now.
Say if anybody's hungry, go, because we don't want to disturb
No,
them. No?
Dina, Miriam, ma'am.
That's the reason. That's the reason. If anybody's hungry, please go and have food is ready. If anybody's hungry, please go and have. Don't say that word.
My sir will kill me if I say this now.
Then don't tell it. Okay.
Sorry, sir. Thank you so much for gracing your presence. Thank you. Dina,
Yes, definitely.
thank you so much. Now, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce Dina Maria Ma'am, a highly respected spiritual author and the esteemed founder of the Global Peace Initiative of Women. Dina Ma'am has written numerous books, including Untold Story of Sita, My Journey Through Time, which have been greatly admired by Patriji. She has also actively participated in many online PSSM sessions, and we are truly honored to have her join us today. Dina Ma'am is also a long-time meditation practitioner in lineage of Kriya Yoga with Paramahansa Yogananda, who is her guru. And she has vivid memories of past lives in her books. These books help people understand the law of karmic unfolding, overcome fear of death, and comprehend cause of effect. Dina actively speaks in various forums about the need for a shift in consciousness and to address global challenges and received the Nirvana Peace Prize in 2014. Dina Ma'am's profound knowledge and expertise in spirituality and peace building are truly awe-inspiring. So we welcome Dina Ma'am. Before I pass the floor to Dina Ma'am, I request Ma'am to launch her English song.
To release the song?
Yeah.
Yes. How do I do that?
You just say release.
Okay, we're going to release the song. We're going to release this song that we've all been waiting for. Now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Please sit here so you can watch the song.
Observe your breath. Observe your breath. Observe your breath. Observe your breath. Be the change you want to be. Self-realization. Fall in love with yourself. Attaining true liberation. Observe your breath. Observe your breath. Observe your breath. Observe your breath. Dive deep within. Gotta be with yourself. Gotta know yourself. Dive deep within. Gotta be with yourself. Gotta know yourself. Oh, observe your breath. Observe your breath.
made by Akshaya from our pyramid master from Chennai. A big clap to her, guys. She wrote the song, she sang the song, and she brought all our musicians together for this event. And also I would like to thank PMC team for making the visuals done in time for the event in just 2 days. All of this is one. So big clap to PMC team also. Thank you so much. So ma'am, now the floor is all yours.
I also request Sheetal ma'am to please come and join Dina ma'am on the stage.
Before I begin, I'd like to say a few words to Patriji. Patriji, I don't know how you found me. I finished writing the Untold Stories. I knew nothing about publishing, nothing about distributing books. I was just recording my experiences, wondering if anybody would ever read this book. And then out of the blue, I get an email from you asking for a Zoom call. And we had a Zoom call, and we had an immediate connection. And I was so immensely grateful that you saw the same thing that I saw, that we were both on the same wavelength. And I made a commitment that I would come, it was during the pandemic, and I said, as soon as the pandemic is over, I'll come meet you. Because I've been traveling to India every year, once or twice for many years, but I had to stop traveling during the pandemic. But Patriji, I didn't realize you would relocate before I had a chance to come meet you in the physical. So now we will meet on the inner plane, which is where the real action takes place anyhow. So thank you, Patriji. I wouldn't be here had he not found me, had he not found the book. I'm enormously grateful for everything that he's done and for all of you. I'm grateful to be invited here to be with you. I want to thank the musicians and all of you for a beautiful meditation this morning. Really, it was just what I needed. So thank you and namaste. I'm happy to be here. I'm much more comfortable sitting in a circle, so I'm going to pretend I'm sitting down with you, just talking informally about my own life experiences, because that's all I can share, my own life experiences. I don't have a license to speak, but I have a license to write, and most of my expression is done through writing. But I'm learning how to speak about my writing. When I was 20 years old, in college, my second year in college, somebody handed me Autobiography of a Yogi. I had just read Be Here Now, the book by Ram Dass. I was in the Boston area. Ram Dass was speaking. I went to see him. I was very taken by his description of his guru. And of course, everybody was looking for their guru at that time. Friends of mine were going to India looking for the guru, but my guru came to me through the Autobiography of a Yogi. And his message was very clear. He had left the body. You want to find me? Go inside. Meditate. That was the message I got when I was 20, and it sank in because of lifetimes of yearning for that teaching. And finally, here I was able to get the teaching of how to meditate. And so I took it very seriously. A lot of people were floating around, going to this teacher or that teacher, trying this or that. But I was so grateful because I knew I'd been searching for lifetimes for this, that I took very seriously his instructions to meditate without fail every day, twice a day if I could. And that's been my life since then. I won't tell you how many years ago, but it's been a long time. And I didn't know what to expect. Of course, there were many teachings that came. Don't have any expectations. Don't expect lights and astral travel and all kinds of fancy things. You meditate just because out of your desire, your yearning for that truth, to know who you are. Well, things did begin to happen, and I began to travel back in time. And at first, it was a little unnerving, because I didn't know which time period I was in. When I wrote the Untold Story of Sita, which came to me unexpectedly, as everything comes unexpectedly,
I found myself back in the Treta Yuga. I was living that life of Meenakshi. And it was my second book. I had already had experiences of previous births. And it led to an identity crisis. Who was I? Was I the servant Meenakshi? Was I the dancer from Dwarka? Was I the Tibetan, am I the Tibetan woman that I write about in To Dance with Dakinis? Am I the poor Indian woman in that book named Devaki? Am I the poet? I write about a poet, a Taoist poet. Who am I? And this really became my meditation for quite some time. There's a story in my latest book, To Dance with Dakini,
because they took more time on the...
where the second part of the book takes place in India, and there are these Kashmiri Shaivites. And this woman, this Kashmiri Shaivite woman, encounters her teacher. And the teacher says to her, "Who are you?" And she says her name. The teacher shakes her head. But she says her family name, her family background, where she comes from. She goes into all these details that describe her current personality. The teacher just shakes her head. The teacher says, "Go into that cabin. Don't come out until you know who you are." So she goes into that cabin, and weeks and months pass. She's in meditation, and she begins experiencing her previous births. She's this person and that person and this one and that one. She goes all the way back. And then she has an experience of cosmic reality, of who she truly is. She's not a personality. She's part of it all.
Okay.
And then her teacher, but she still doesn't know that that's her. She has this experience. The teacher comes and says, "Okay, it's time for you to come out of the cabin now." She said, "But I still haven't found out who I am." She said, "It's okay. You're on the way. You're on the way there." And so that's this story came to me. It's a story in the book, but it very much related to my own experiences of knowing that all of those personalities that I've seen are part of me. I'm still that servant, and I think I'll always identify as the servant of Mata. That's very, very deep within me. Until the end of time, I will be the servant of Mata. But I'm also not that one. I'm not, here I am now, I'm Dina. In a period of time, a decade, maybe two, I won't be Dina anymore. Dina will be a memory. And so my identity with Dina has become much weaker, actually, that I've seen all my other personalities. So I've spent a lot of time in the past, but when I'm in the past, it's the present. When I was writing Untold Story of Sita, that was the present for me. I was living in that time. And as I just finished writing To Dance with Dakinis, I was living in 12th century Tibet, experiencing 12th century Tibet. And so what I hope to carry my readers into that time period so they can experience something of that, because from the past, we understand the future. We understand the present and the future. So what next? I've spent many decades revisiting my past. And then suddenly, because a lot of my work in the world, aside from writing, has been to try to see how we can improve conditions on the planet. I started the Global Peace Initiative of Women 25 years ago, and did many peace dialogues in places of conflict, bringing spiritual meditators, spiritual teachers to those places to help resolve the karmic knots. Not too successfully, I must say. Those conflicts are still going on.
So we've
got to Palestine and Israel, Iraq, Afghanistan, all those places, Sudan. And so I said, well, I think I've done as much as I can do in that way. And then I started going to environmental conferences, the UN conferences, climate conferences, bringing the spiritual message there. And then something shifted.
I'll tell you after lunch when I'm sitting.
When I realized the best thing I can do is meditate. So I began to project myself into the future. The book I'm now writing is called Memories of a Future Life, and it projects 200 years into the future. So if the past becomes the present, so does the future. There's not much difference. So I find myself now living my future life. It's very interesting. It's quite an experience, actually. But what I see, looking back from 200 years in the future, is that what has shifted on the planet is that the meditation community has gotten large enough that it begins to shift consciousness. So when I read or hear about all these dystopian visions for the future, I want to cry out, no, it's not that way. Why are you creating this? We are the creators of the future. Now we know we create our own personal future. My study of the past has helped me understand a little bit about the law of cause and effect. And I've tried to show that through my writings, how one life feeds into the next. Everything is our own creation. There's nobody else. We are responsible for it. And the more conscious we become, the more we can shape our future. So what I've learned from studying the past is how to shape my personal future, how to create the blueprint, because we do create the blueprint for our next birth. We create our future. So we can do it at a personal level, but how to do that collectively as a human community? That's what we have the power to do. And that's what collective meditation does. And the key to the future is meditation. Looking back, looking ahead, and then looking back, what made the difference? What prevented us from having a dystopian future was meditation. And that's the message now that I feel I need to convey, because standing in the future and looking back can help set a path for us as a human community. We're 8 billion people on the planet.
Yeah, I know.
How many meditators, serious meditators, are we on the planet? A few million, maybe? What number do we need in order to really shift the consciousness of the planet? Because we're talking about a consciousness shift, an evolution. We stand at an evolutionary moment where if we don't shift the consciousness, if we continued in this trajectory, there's going to be a lot of suffering, a lot of climate issues, a lot of ecological issues, that with our current mentality, we can't address. But with a shift in consciousness, we can address. All the energy problems can be solved. If you look back, yesterday we were talking a little bit, we had a small group discussion about what the technology was of the Treta Yuga during Sita's time.
Because it's a
Well,
very nice.
the mind
I
power
don't
was
like
much
driving,
greater, but also they had the energy that they needed, not through polluting means. It was a non-polluting, because there was an understanding of the interconnection, that you harm the earth, you don't do that. You just don't do that. So there was a natural way of being aligned with Dharma, of how to be and how not to be. And now at this stage in our development, we've lost that knowing of how to be and not to be. And so we're creating a lot of destructive
Driving every so easy.
actions that are harming the planet and harming each other. And so how to get out of this is through evolving into that higher state of consciousness. And how do you do that is through spiritual practice, meditation being the key. So what are the things that I see? The reason we're feeling the pain right now globally is that we're in a transition. A lot of the structures, political, social, economic, that are in place were Kali Yuga constructs from a less enlightened state of mind that are no longer working. And so in order to evolve beyond that, those structures have to break down, evolve, change, and the change could be less painful or more painful, depending on how we go as a human community. But we have to know that we can shape it. And so most of my life, I was meditating for myself in order to feel better, about more peaceful, happier, more
Are you
joyful,
off schedule or we are
so
on
that I
still on
could
schedule?
meet the
Little off.
challenges of life, relationship challenges, work challenges. It was to deal with my own challenges of daily
They
life.
actually said, no, they will not
And
speak
only
the
way
very
through that, to
They
have
all
a happier
speak. I think
life,
that's
was
in
the
the
meditation. But something shifted for me as I entered this latter stage of life,
We have to clean
where I meditate now for the collective. Because it's the collective that I feel responsible for. And it's not just the human collective, it's the life collective. All the communities of life that live with us. So I'll share an experience that I had a few years ago. As I said, I was organizing spiritual gatherings at the UN climate summits. Every year I was doing this, bringing a small group of spiritual teachers to the UN climate summits. And this year it was taking place in Poland. It was, I think, 2018 or 19. I had just been in Japan where we had a small interfaith gathering, and one of the delegates there was talking about the intelligence of the whales, how the whales gathered. He was from the Dominican Republic. Every year they gather, they turn their noses to the earth and sing to the earth. And their song can carry thousands of miles. And every year it's a new song. There's a place near his island where you can see the whales gathering for this annual song. He was talking about that. I left Japan, stopped briefly at home, was on my way to Poland for the climate conference, stopping in Paris overnight. That night, before I was to leave for Poland, I had a dream. And in the dream, I was standing in my apartment, in New York City, which overlooks the East River. And I saw a large whale swim up the river, stop in front of my apartment, look up at me, and we made eye contact. And I said to the whale, "I hear you." And then I woke up. I said to myself, I've just made a commitment to represent the whales at the climate conference. And so the next day, I was at the UN conference. I went to all the sessions I could on the oceans. Not one session mentioned the animal life. It was all about tourist assets, what was going to happen to the human communities that depended on tourism, if the oceans turn acidic, if the oceans rise. So I was haunted by this dream. It has stayed with me. And it gave me insight of the way in Treta Yuga, if you remember, those of you who've read the untold story of Sita, how Sita is able to communicate with the animals. There's one episode in there where a lioness comes, she's living in the forest, a lioness comes, and the lioness is heartbroken. One of her cubs she had lost. Sita communicates through images with that lioness. Communication was possible at that time during the higher yugas. Well, I had the same experience with this whale. A transmission took place. And I had made a commitment of sorts. And so I now, whenever I read an article about the whales, I pay attention. Earlier this year, 45 whales in the New York area died. They didn't know why, but they just died. They found them dead. I felt that in my heart because a connection had been made. Over the summer, maybe 2 months ago, there was a story about 100 whales that beached in Australia, consciously beached. The authority, half of them died right away, and they were young whales. And they had formed a circle before they consciously beached. The authorities were able to get half of them back into the ocean and save them. But they beached again, collectively. It was like a collective suicide. And I said to myself, they're sending us a message. They're telling us something. But we're too busy with our thoughts, with our concerns, to hear what they're telling us. The oceans have become unsafe for them. So I felt that deeply in my heart. Before I had that first dream, I really didn't think about the whales very much, to be honest. But ever since that dream, the whales have been very much in my consciousness. And then I had another dream a few weeks ago. In the dream, a lot of messages come to me through dreams. In the dream, I was on a surfboard, body surfing, something I've never done. And I was drifting further and further away from the shore. And I didn't know how to get to the shore. And then I saw sharks surrounding me, surrounding the surfboard. And I said, oh my goodness, there's no way I can escape these sharks. They're going to eat me. And I surrendered to being eaten by the sharks. And then an animal came from underneath, lifted my surfboard, and carried me to the shore. I got there and turned around, and I saw it was a whale. I said to myself, what is this message? Messages are coming through to me. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to think about this? Well, you know, if it's the friendship that Pari spoke about yesterday, the bonding with the animal life, even if you can't do anything about it, for them to know that we're here for them, that they're in our consciousness, that we care, that we're conscious of them. This morning there was an article about 1,000 birds died by crashing into one building in Chicago. I'm very conscious of the birds because I live outside of New York City an hour away. When I first moved into that house 40 years ago, the chatter in the morning with the birds would be so loud. Now it's just a little bit of chatter. We've lost 1 billion birds. A third of the birds are gone in New York. I have grandchildren. I think to myself, the grandchildren won't hear what I heard 40 years ago. But I want them to hear at least what I hear now. At least I do hear the chirping of the birds. And now science has shown a relationship between bird song and mental health. We have a mental health crisis in our country among young people. And there's a disappearance of bird song. Can we put things together? Of course, it's not just that, but every little thing helps. And so being conscious of this, so when I'm doing my meditation, hardly a meditation goes by where I'm not meditating with the whales or not including the birds in my meditation. You know, we're taught to send vibrations to the places where there's conflict, to the people where there's been an earthquake. But beyond the human community, there are earthquakes taking place under the seas. I don't mean literally, but I mean disasters, human-created disasters that are taking place around us. The animals don't have a voice. They certainly don't have a voice of the United Nations. They should have a voice. They share the planet with us. We have to be their voice. That's what my meditation has done for me. My meditation has expanded my consciousness so that I'm no longer just meditating for myself. I'm meditating, thinking about the whole human community and the bird community and the whale community and everything in between. There was last summer a heat wave off of the western coast of the U.S. and the people died from the heat wave. But 1 billion sea animals lost their lives during the heat wave. I mean, we don't even know what's happening in the oceans because of the increasing temperature. Off of Florida, they say it was like a hot tub this summer. How did that affect the animal life? We're here at this time for a certain reason. We've taken birth at this time for a reason. And I see it as an opportunity because now is the time when the meditation community must expand and must deepen. So there's a limit how we expand the community. Yes, we're all doing what we can, but to deepen our own practice is also as important because the deeper we can go into our practice, the more effective we can be in working in these subtle realms. Now, I've talked a little bit about crossing the bridge of time, the past and the future. But there's another bridge that we can cross, and that's into the different dimensions. When you leave this physical plane, you go back into that other dimension, which is more our home than this plane is our home. We've spent more time there than here, and we're likely to spend more time in the future there than here. But that dimension can be accessed while we're still here. That's where Patriji is. And Patriji, I would say, is as active now as he was when he was in the physical body. When my guru left his body, Yogananda left his body, he said, I'll be able to help you more when I'm not in your physical presence. Because when you have the physical presence, you get attached to that physical presence. You know, for years, I sort of envied my friends when they talked about their guru, being with their guru in the body, and it was like, well, I never had that experience. It's like, but I've been with him on the inner plane, and what's more powerful than that? And those who are the guides and helpers never stop helping. So last night somebody asked me, looking into the future, do I see Buddha, Ram, Sita? Well, my connection is deepest with Ram and Sita. And that was a question I had when I began this journey into the future. Is Sita there? Is Ram there? And I can assure you, yes. You know, there's some things I question, you know, the Egyptian deities, the deities of the Greeks, people don't talk about them anymore. Their presence is not really felt. But the presence of our deities is still very strong and very much felt. In this future book that I'm writing, for the first time, I have the experience of Ganesh. And that, it's a very strange thing. It's the future, yet I'm living it now. So as I have this experience of Ganesh in the future, I'm experiencing it in the present. Just as for those who've read When the Bright Moon Rises, I talk about my experience of Saraswati, because it takes place during the Saraswati civilization, during the Vedic era, when Saraswati was a prominent energy at that time, implanting a lot of wisdom and knowledge, working with the rishis very closely. That was the need of the moment. And so I've had to experience these different aspects of the deities. In dancing to Dance with Dakinis, Shiva comes alive for me. And I have a profound experience of Shiva, which has remained with me. So I can say for sure, but not in the way that it was in the past, because nothing is ever repeated exactly as it was. So it's not that Ram will take birth and be a king, or that Sita will take birth as a princess. They will appear when they need to appear. Even now, there has never been a time when people have not had the experience of seeing Ram or Sita in the physical form. But those who can see, can see. Most of us can't see yet, but we'll see when we've done the work necessary to open that vision into the subtler planes. So we have a little bit of time left. And I wonder if there's any question that anybody has that might want to ask, if that's possible.
Any questions, friends? Yeah.
One second. I'll get more mics later.
Hello. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. One of the questions that I
That's a very relevant question, and I don't encourage people to do any kind of life regression or any of that. Whatever comes organically, but the first time I had the experience, I was in my 40s, I was a single mom raising 2 kids, I was working a job, and it was destabilizing. I was very much experiencing my birth just previous to that, which was as a child in Russia, sent out during the revolution, sent into Europe, experienced the war in Europe, Second World War, but had the chance to meet my guru in the flesh, because my Guruji in 36 took one trip back to India and passed through Germany, and I had the occasion to have a glimpse of him. So that was very comforting for me to know that I had met him in my previous birth, but it was destabilizing because I would be in a work meeting and I'd be back hearing the sirens of the Nazis, and I was still a relatively young woman and couldn't speak to many people about this. I had one satsang friend that I talked to about this. It took me about a year until I pulled myself, until I'd seen the whole life, because it came in spurts. I saw my childhood first, I saw myself being sent out of Russia, and then I didn't see anything for weeks would pass, and then I would be back in it. And a lot of this came through my meditations, and so it was destabilizing. And over time, I've been able to handle it a lot better. It's not destabilizing anymore. Now I'm able to function in multiple time periods. When I was writing, I took a trip, after I finished Sita book, I took a trip to Dwarka, and that's where I recalled the life of the dancer in Dwarka. But I was writing another book about the Vedic era. I was living in 3 time periods. I was living Dina's life, I was living the life of the dancer in Dwarka, and I was living a life in the Vedic period. And it was like, okay, whatever. Wherever you're sent, you go, you know? I mean, I am enormously grateful because of the insights and the fact that it's pulled me out of this identification with this personality that I'm now living. Of course, I'm Dina, but I'm not. I recognize that it's just a portion of who I am. And so I know quite a few people who out of curiosity want to know. For me, it's not a matter of curiosity. Is there something to be learned? I've always had a strong desire to understand karma. I thought if I can understand how cause and effect works, well, then I can live my life better. And so the incentive for me, and I think what propelled me into the past, was trying to understand this law of cause and effect. And I have come to understand it. And it's affected how I live my life. I had a very troubled relationship with my mother for much of my current life. She was very hostile to my spiritual efforts. Meditation was not mainstream when I started meditating. I became a vegetarian. I was naturally born a vegetarian. She forced me to eat meat because I was skinny and anemic. And as soon as I got to college, I became vegetarian. It was a huge family problem. Even until she passed away last year, she would say, "Can I give you some chicken? You know, I've been a vegetarian for 50 years. Why can't you remember that?" But understanding the law of karma, I said to myself, if I don't resolve this relationship now, I will have to resolve it in the future. Everything has to be resolved. That's what karma is. If you leave things finished, well, you're setting it up for a future. I made a huge effort to take care of her. And at the end of her life, I did take care of her. I was there for her, you know, visiting her all the time, bringing her food, preparing food for her. I took care of her. And it didn't matter that she got to appreciate me a little better. Well, I guess the meditation's done you some good. You know, you're being nice to me, you're taking care of me. But it was my singular focus because it was the most troubled relationship in my life. It was very hurtful. I had to hide the pictures of my guru, a lot of pain in hiding my spiritual practice. but I was able to overcome it, and I know that I will encounter her once more, but it will be in a beautiful way, because a lot of the tension between us has been resolved. So that's what understanding. Look around at the relationships that are problematic and make an effort to resolve them. Look around at the work issues. You know, are you doing the work that you feel you've come to do? I mean, there's so many ways, things that you have to look at in your life so that you can resolve what you came to resolve and see what's left for your future journey. Does that answer your question?
It does.
We have time for maybe one more? Two more. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. It's an honor to meet you in person. Probably this question is not very much related to you, but I want to ask it anyway because it's coming from inside. How do you relate yourself to or connection with Ahalya?
Do what?
Your connection with Ahalya?
With?
Your connection with Ahalya.
With
Ahalya, right? Yeah, Ahalya.
Ahalya. Ahalya. She's, well, you know, my work in this life through the Global Peace Initiative of Women was to help elevate the voices of women. I had no intention of getting into the interfaith work. 25 years ago, I sort of found myself in it, and I saw that there were no women and no representatives from the Dharma tradition. So I said, well, here are two things that I can do. Bring the voices of women and balance out the Abrahamic with the Dharma traditions, the Hindu and Buddhist. As I began to do that, and as I began to write, I realized that this is a culmination of a work of many lifetimes for me, where I felt my voice as a woman has been suppressed, where I had no voice. And it's something I struggled with for many lifetimes, as a lot of women do. And in this life, I've been able to bring that to conclusion. Not only to find my voice, but to correct a lot of the misperceptions. And so in writing the book about Sita, which is probably the book that's closest to my heart, I read Valmiki when I was in my early 20s, and I didn't understand the last part about Sita being banished, so I said, well, just discount that, you know, I just won't think about that. You know, although I loved it because it connected me to Ram and Sita, there was a lot, I was very young at that time and didn't have my own voice as a woman, and so didn't have my memories. So I moved beyond that. What it gave me was my relationship with Ram and Sita. But when my memories returned and I saw, wow, that has been distorted. The whole story has been distorted. Not only the story about Sita, but the story about the women. Why are the women not called sages? They're just called wives of. Not only wives of, the chaste and devoted wife of. That's how they're referred to, these great sages, Ahilya being one of them, Anasuya being another. And so I saw that's not the way it was at that time, because the Treta Yuga was pre-patriarchal. Patriarchy came in much later, when women got assigned, when a lot of social things changed. Hierarchies came into place. Certain groups were oppressed. Women got put in a certain position in society. And all the recording got done through the men. The women's voices were not heard. And yet we know that there were women rishis. Women were writers of the Vedas. And that's what I try to show when the bright moon rises. That whole Satya Yuga, because the Vedas came during the Satya Yuga, before the Treta Yuga. So during the Satya Yuga and the Treta Yuga, the women had their voice. It was only as we moved into Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga that women lost the voice, to the detriment of society. Society suffers when half the human society loses its voice. Society's going to suffer. So now it's time to reclaim that voice. So what does it mean to reclaim that voice? It means reclaiming the narratives, and Ahilya is part of that narrative. She was not unfaithful to her husband. She saw right through Indra's disguise. It was her husband who couldn't see it. Her husband was filled with such thoughts that he couldn't see through Indra's disguise. And he couldn't see his wife's intelligence that she knew all along what was going on. And he just came to test. And when the bright moon rises, when I go back to the Vedic period, there's a lot about Indra in there, who I didn't know before I wrote that book. But in writing that book, I came to know Indra, and I came to love Indra. Who is Indra? Indra is the higher mind. Indra is the one that comes to help us get over our imperfections, to show us where the imperfections are. So all the tests that he sends are for our own good. We want to know where the weaknesses are. If we don't know where the weaknesses are, how are we to overcome them? He was just showing the sage where his weakness was, so that he could go meditate and overcome the weakness. So that story is very important to me, and it was because of Sita Ma that I came to understand that story in the proper light. Oh, lots of questions. Okay, go here.
Thank you very much. It's a great answers, and most of your answers gave me some kind of enlightenment for what's going on inside of me, like the questions that I have on my life issues at work and also in the life. Therefore, I'm coming to a direct question. So you said try to resolve the issues from the, whatever the past karmas, and that will become a future, the better future. So when I'm working on certain issues towards the resolution, it looks like it is coming to the place for some time, and after some time again they are raising the same, coming back like a circuit. So whenever I work on some issue, it is not settling down, it is coming back again and again like a circle, it is coming back. So if that is the thing, the whole life looks like a struggle.
Looks like a what?
Struggle.
Struggle.
So when do you resolve the things and you construct a better future, either in the same life or in the next life?
If you work on resolving an issue, whether it's a relationship or a problem,
yes,
it will come back. And it will keep coming back until you have no reaction. As long as you're reacting, it's not resolved. When there's no reaction, it won't come back anymore. And it could take a lifetime. It took me with my mother a lifetime to resolve that. And in the end, she even said some hurtful things to me, and I had to check my reaction. The one thing I learned early on, meditation coupled with introspection. My Guruji used to say, after meditation, introspect. Look at your reactions, to be watchful, to be mindful. Where am I reacting? Am I reacting to this person? It could be a work situation, a boss that you're reacting to, which means you're still taking it personally, you're still taking it into yourself. We have to get to the point where there are no reactions. In success, what does it say in the Gita? In success or in failure, loss or gain, that's important to remember. Loss or gain, the same. It's the same. We don't get overjoyed if we win the lottery, and we don't get into the bottom if we lose. That's the goal. I can't say that I've reached that place yet, but that's the teaching. In loss or in gain, be even-minded. Don't have any reaction to whatever's taking place in the external world. That's what we're all struggling for. And we keep having opportunities. I don't see it so much as struggles as opportunities. we have opportunities to test ourselves. It's like you want to take a test. Let me see how I'm good in spelling, and I'll give myself a test. You're giving yourself tests to see how you're doing. Okay, well, I reacted, so I'm still reacting. I haven't gotten to that point. Don't beat yourself up. It's okay. You're still reacting, but you're reacting less than you reacted before. So that's good. You're making progress.
Okay. So just forgetting is not useful. It's completely, even I see the person, even the situation come in front of me in different form. I should not be able to react to it. That's what you said.
But you can't fake it. It has to be real. You have to really not react to it. See, it's part of the cosmic drama. I mean, you know, for a while, a lot of my friends were getting so tossed around by the political situation in the U.S., as we all do. I had to say, okay, I'm reacting. Step back. It's a cosmic show. I mean, sometimes the cosmic show is weird and strange, and you just shake your head. It's a cosmic show. In the world, but not of it. That's what we are. We're in the world, we have to play our part, but we can't partake in it at the deepest level.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I like this word, the cosmic show.
Are we taking one more question? Or are we done?
One more question?
You were first, right?
Thank you, Ms. Dina. I have read your book on Sita and I never thought I would meet you in lifetime. Thank you so much. It's an honor for me. Now my question, when you say that word karma, it catches my attention. So we know as a soul we've had so many physical lives, and in each life we've had good things, we've had bad experiences, right? And when you have a bad experience, they say it's a previous life's karma, right? How is that justified, and how do you connect with that concept? Because if as a human being, if someone has done all good things, consciously has not touched the bad part of karma, and still that person has to go through a tough journey in this lifetime, how is that, how do you justify that?
First, I want to say that karma is not a system of reward and punishment. It's a law of the universe that whatever you put out energetically rebounds. It's like gravity. I mean, gravity is a neutral force. Is it good or bad? It's a neutral force. You throw something up, it comes back down. Thought is energy, and one thing I'm sort of trying to understand now, you know, actions create a reaction. What about thought? What is the karma from thought? You have negative thoughts. Well, what does that lead to? I'm sort of exploring that in my current book. But if somebody, a good person, encounters a lot of difficulties, the law of cause and effect is there for our own growth. We all going to encounter difficulties because we all have to detach from identification with this body. I mean, if you identify with this body, you're going to suffer because the body is not meant to be permanent. The body is only meant to be temporary. You inhabit this body for a blink of an eye. That's how long you identify this body. You inhabit this body. As long as you identify with the body, there's going to be suffering. That's what the Buddha said, the causes of suffering. You have to, that's what meditation helps you identify with your deeper self that is beyond the body. That's the value in meditation. I mean, one of the things that came to me through all my writings is it completely changed my relationship with what we call death. It's not death. You can call it birth, actually. When you go from there to here, that's a death too. That's a death. You know, you're leaving your astral reality, entering the physical realm. Well, is that death? We call it birth. You leave here and go back there, we call it death. They were waiting for you, celebrating, you've come. It's changed my relationship. Any struggles we go through is for our own growth that we have, at a soul level, have chosen. There's no dictator up there. There's nobody punishing us. You did this, therefore you're going to be punished. That's a falsity. That's a very much part of like the Abrahamic concept of a God who judges and punishes. That's not the way it is. We ourselves, at a soul level, not at a personality, at a soul level, create our own course for our own growth. And everything that comes to us can be used as an opportunity for growth. I don't know how many of you know of Ramdas. Okay, many of you do. Well, he suffered a stroke and lived for 20 years with the stroke. He was very handicapped. It took him a long time to speak again. He had to be cared for. He considered that to be the greatest lesson of his life, that stroke. You know, I have a lot of respect for him because, what did he call it? Something like something grace. He wrote, there was even a movie called Something Grace about how it knocked him out of the reality of identifying with his body. Now, most of us who suffer human ailments don't have that experience. We're not at that stage in the journey where you can see it as, aha, this is a gift, because I'm not the body. I just have to detach myself from the body. But everything that comes to us, whether it's a bad relationship, a troubled work situation, is for our own growth. If we aren't given opportunities to learn non-reaction, how are we going to grow if we're never given opportunities? So based on what we've done in the past, it's helped create the situation for, you can't help that, you can't undo that, but you can create your future. Not only you can, you do create your future. So do it consciously. Most of us create the future unconsciously. You know, I could have said, like, I have a sister who you know, discounts my mother. She had a bad relationship too. I would say, okay, well, you don't want to resolve that relationship. Do it in the future. It's okay. Do it in the future when you're better able to resolve it. You know, the choice is, do we grow now or do we postpone it for the future? That's the choice. At some point on our journey, and the journey is a beautiful one. When you see the interconnections, when I see people coming back into my life, when you put the whole picture together, it's like this incredible mandala, you know, like the most intricate Tibetan mandala with all the intricate things. That's what each one of us, what our life is like. And at some point, we'll get to step by and say, back and say, wow, what a beautiful mandala that is, that I've created. We each are creating our own mandalas. I think there was one more question over here. She had a, yeah, oh, sorry.
So my question was, all these experiences that you had, were you always a woman? Did you?
No, in Rukmini and the Turning of Time, I talk about an incarnation as a man, and there have been others. I would say majority of my incarnations have been as a woman. That's how I express myself. And it's been part of my life's work to raise the voices of women. But I talk about an incarnation in that book as a man, as somebody who worked on the temple for Krishna, the grand temple for Krishna. I was a stone carver. I think we have to end, but I want to just leave with two thoughts, really. The importance of meditation, not just for your own future, but for our collective future. Collectively, we are creating the human future. Let it be a good one. And the other thing I want to say is the importance of introspection. To introspect on your life and to see where you need to focus to resolve things. And to watch the mind, look at your reactions. What are you still reacting to? I know what I'm still reacting to. I still react to quite a few things. And I still have work to do, which is why I know I have a future. At least 2 more lives. So I'm happy to talk with any of you at lunchtime. I'm here for a little bit longer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Words cannot describe the experience. Thank you so much for your great wisdom.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really wonderful. I would like everyone to stand up for Dina ma'am for what her work. And round of applause. Truly honor to have her here, and we deeply appreciate being here. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have some
Now we'd like to invite Divya, Madhvi and Anela ma'am to facilitate madness.
Ma'am, one second. Dina Ji is one of the greatest living God on earth. So let's give a big clap to her for graciously accepting ma'am to come here. And I'm happy to announce that you will be there with us in India next December 2024. Dhyana Jagath. Thank you, ma'am.
Two announcements before we go for lunch. There are a lot of stalls if you wanted to subscribe to Dhyana Jagath, Spiritual Tablet magazines and Spiritual India. Please go register yourself. The stalls are out there. They have amazing stuff, so please go check them out. And also lunch is ready. Have this nutritious food. And also they have a kids ready at 1:45. So get ready for that. Thank you. And also there is experience recording in the room, so please whenever you guys have time, please go record your experiences in other room. Thank you so much. There is one more mic, I'll give you that. Yeah. One second. Do we have Dina Mariam book? I'm good, or I'm good now, right? I'm free. meditation is happening first, they will let you know. They have changed something, they will let you know. I think we're going to do meditation first, then some other stuff. So I think you'll be leaving early, then your time. Let me get from the time and I'll get back to you. Because Swapna was telling me something which Swapna is taking over now. So I will tell her to inform you well ahead in time so you have. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Harleen. Finally! Like I've seen you, like I have to come and meet you, but then I was there busy, so. Hats off to all of them. Hello, ma'am.
It's backwards.
Thank you. Good. Hey, Harleen. Oh, wow. Welcome to PMC. We still do. Even after, yeah. That's what we do. We still absorb. If anybody needs it, I have the later one if they want this script. I think they change everything, right? But you need this one, right? Do you need? Okay, when is the Isha ma'am is going earlier? We'll go because she has to leave early. She has a flight to catch, so let's go. Yeah, so she has a flight at 5 p.m. So you go and get the picture. No, it's okay. No, go. You lost your phone? Thank you. You lost your phone? You're behaving like me today. That's why I put my phone in my kids. Because I lose it all the time. Even if we call, we're not going to hear it, right? Well, I'm the one who was talking to you. Spiritual tablet, GK sir is calling me. I don't know. He said you have to do something for spiritual tablets. Oh. he's like you do with global now come with spiritual tablets. So I'm coming soon. Everybody's checking it and Pari is busy with taking her pictures. But they said do it at 150. The Ravi said do it at 150. I can do it right now. I don't need to announce it, I just put it on. I don't need to announce anything about the video. I don't need to announce for the video, just put it on. Yeah. But they said, Ravi said to do it at 150. We already are. We're late. The problem is the kids rally we're still doing at 1:45. But people are still eating. They haven't even left because they're still clicking pictures. Sir, come let's go take a picture with Gita Maria. Yes, finally. Thank you for helping me that morning. It was because I have to go drop the kids and then. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Good job. Very nice. Anil sir is coming. Chalo. Everybody stops him. Everybody grabs her. You're like Parini, I said everybody grabs her. I'll take one picture with her and I'll go down. And then you're staying with her now? Yeah. Food and and your Chetan's car has a bag. And I'll make sure. Vikshams are ready to go. Mahadevi madam. Madhavi ma'am. I'm free now for today. I'm free for today. They wanted me to start. So it's like there'll be a PSM video, there'll be history, there'll be question answers. other stuff. So tomorrow is GK's panel where GK is going to speak. Then again it is meditation 1 hour.
When is GK's time? Like what?
It is tomorrow from I think 11 something to 11:45 or something.
Got 45 minutes.
No, it's a panel. You're sitting in the panel where we're like we're asking questions and everything. Which is some way to eat food. Go eat food. There is no food? What are you talking, sir? There is no. Oh, right. So next is Swapna. I am done now. So Swapna, right there. She's right there. So 1 second. Yours is at what time you are speaking? At 3:45, right?
Yeah, 3:45.
So we have 18 principles, and then we have.
Next program is 1:45.
1:45 is a kids rally. Then we'll do the PSSM video, and then she will take over. Yeah.
1:45 you have to complete your video.
I already ate lunch. But we are 20 minutes behind schedule to be on time. Because they were not talking, no, the chief guests, but then they also started talking. Then that takes another 20 minutes. 1:15? It's already 1:10. They just left for food. Let's do 1:30 because they just left for food. So they were still taking pictures for dinner. I know. I feel you, sir. Everything is delayed. Yeah, and if their time cuts, they will not be happy about it. Did you eat food? Okay, so I have to tell. No, I ate it. No. Nobody asked. Nobody cares. Nobody cares who am I, where I'm being from. There's difference to them. I mean, you can say it, it's okay, it's nice, but I don't think so. Nobody cared who I am. So, but I think you already have it, so say it. Now, one line doesn't make a difference. So they know. You know, we can tell Viksham sir to maybe they can. We can't say Denise go. No, we can't tell them to go 5 minutes less now. Even they have timers, still they go sometimes go over because you know you don't see the like Pratima has. I mean, I have to go tell her. Yeah. Anils are saying, please eat food.
I'll eat.
It's hard. Pari is grabbed from everyone. I'll tell the video. On 1:30 first I'll announce that, you know, come by 1:45 we're going to start. No, we play the video first, we do the rally first for the kids. 1:45 is a rally. They're just going to walk, doesn't make a difference. Sir, meditate there.
It's a half meditation.
It's so cute like that. Will they put this? I think we should one should be with Pari where she does not stop and just go eat. One should be with Pari like, don't go eat food.
And how do I switch on?
No, it's not yours, it's mine. Oh, it's yours. Yeah, I'm done. After 2 o'clock, then I'll go to spiritual tablets. GK sir is calling me. He said you had done more of global, now come to spiritual tablets, and I'm coming after 2 o'clock. Sir, I did L1 from there, no? I'm a counselor. I mean, I'm not actually the certificate. The problem is, only thing is everybody has to, they come here. They don't take it as in, like, there is like US is a different global. I don't know why do that. I still no idea. We are here as like a global team. Just, just stay there.
The story behind our written today is the story of the young man.